Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited because today we're going to be talking about vegan protein, and if you know, you know. I've been a vegan for the past 3 years, and amongst that time I have cut, I've bulked, I've maintained all on the vegan diet. So I like to think that I know a ton about vegan protein. As a quick glimpse, this is what I used to look like compared to what I look like now. And already go ahead and check out my 75 hard challenge where I was vegan on the 75 hard challenge, and I learned a lot of the tips and tricks there as well. It's a vlog format, and if you need to know ideas and you're curious about how to implement these types of protein into your diet, I have a ton of what I eat in a day here on YouTube. I also have that on my Instagram along with some vegan recipes. Not to mention, I have a vegan cookbook coming out all about vegan protein that's dropping in March, on March 14th. I'm gonna link it in the bio. I am so excited, but without further ado, let's get into my top sources of vegan protein. Introductions are done. I'm gonna sip my coffee and we're gonna go through the vegan sources of protein. Number one, we have soy. Now, I know this can intimidate a lot of people, but the soybean contains a lot of protein in a ton of different forms. We have tempeh, we have tofu, we have soybeans, and we have soy milk. Trust and believe that these are excellent forms of protein that you can eat in a multitude of different ways. Some of my favorite ways to eat tofu is in a tofu scramble, or I really love just making a chicken sandwich out of it that I posted a couple of weeks ago. I also use soy milk in all of my coffees and teas because it's an excellent form of protein without having to actually add protein powder if you don't want to have a grainy taste to it. I also love soybeans, and you just steam them and you add a little bit of soy sauce on top with red chili flakes and garlic. Now I'm really giving you guys some recipes here. But number one, the best form of vegan protein is soy. Number two, the most obvious form of vegan protein you can probably think of is vegan protein powders. In my experience, I've only seen vegan protein powders go up to about 20 grams of protein, but that can be your base. Like for example, you can add your vegan protein powder to your blender along with soy milk, and then you can add some hemp seeds. And with that included, you can have about 40 to 50 grams of vegan protein in one meal. So don't let vegan protein powders allow you to think that you can only have 20 grams in one meal. You can have so much more. Trust and believe me. Now I'm showing you guys the Sprouts vegan protein, and I really do like it. I really like the vanilla flavor. I have not had the matcha flavor, but the salted caramel is good. I like to add it to my coffees. As you guys probably seen this in one of my what I eat in a days. But there's a ton of vegan proteins out there on the market. So if you don't like one, please do not get discouraged. There's so many out there, and I've said this before on my Instagram page, and I'm gonna say it here. I am not loyal to protein powders because there's just too many on the market to choose exactly one. But some of my favorites are KOS. I do have a code, I believe it's Imani15. I'm gonna leave that in the description below if you're curious about the flavor choices there. My favorite one is vanilla, and I also like the Sprouts one. I mean, I would give it a 7 out of 10 to be honest, but it's just really close to my house and it's super convenient and easy to get, and I do not have to order it online, nor do I need to go to Whole Foods, which is a whole journey for me. Multiple ways you can eat it. I also like adding it to coconut whipped topping. I add it to that and I mix it, and it's like a little protein ice cream. The most important part of that is making sure that you genuinely love that whipped topping, because that's gonna be the key to making it taste really good. But if you haven't already and you're struggling to hit those protein goals, I strongly suggest getting on vegan protein powder, and also finding one that you really love. There's so many out there on the market. There's so many smoothies you can incorporate it to, and you can also bake it into recipes. I love adding protein to like my pancakes in the morning, or even just simply baking it into a banana bread. There's just so many ways to enjoy it. So please do not allow the taste of something to hold you back. There's so many on the market and there's so many ways to use it. So number two, vegan protein powder. Okay, now we have reached the epitome, which is beans. Okay, now if you're not a fan of soy, even though soy is a form of a bean, okay, beans are going to be your best friend. Okay, now a lot of people think that beans are boring, they're bland, they're bliss, they're that, they make you gassy. Beans have a really bad rep, which I do not appreciate. Believe it or not, beans are not the most gassiest or gas efficient foods on the market, and we can go into a whole nother thing another time, but for the sake of the time of this video, just know beans will not make you as gassy as some other things out there on the market. Second thing, beans have a ton of protein and carbohydrates attached to them, so they're gonna be the things that are gonna get you refueled after a really intense workout. And there's multiple ways you can eat them, like in your hummus. You can have a bean salad, you can make a lentil patty, you can make a black bean patty, you can make lentil bolognese, which was one of my favorite ways to eat lentils. There are so many ways to incorporate beans into your diet. The most important thing I can say is to look at the serving size, and that's pretty much for almost everything I'm gonna mention today. Look at the serving size, okay? If it says a third cup equals 8 grams of protein, maybe do 2, you know? Find ways to just up the dosage of things and keep track of your macros. I don't know, maybe some people don't. We're gonna get into that another day. Let's just focus on protein here. But beans will be your friend. Find a way to enjoy it, and also keep mind of the carbohydrates attached to beans. But just remember, beans are your buddies. They're full of protein, and they go up to about 9 grams of protein per serving. So look at that serving size, sis. Look at that, or king. Oh, well, I can only call my man. Okay. Look at that serving size to whom this may concern. Next up on our list, whole grains. Whew, say that again, whole grains. Okay, whole grains. There are so many examples of whole grains on the market that are packed with so much protein. When I went to the supermarket, I literally found so much. I was actually overwhelmed at how many options there were. You can range from bread, like Dave's Killer, which is one of my absolute favorites. I love Dave's Killer, chef's kiss. And think about it, like they have 5 grams in each slice of a regular Dave's Killer. And even Dave's Killer has this bagel that has 11 grams per serving. So think about your breads, think about your couscous, your farro, your quinoas, and of course your wheat, well, I say wheat rice, your brown rice. You wanna try to find things that are still intact and things that have a ton of protein to them. On top of this, you can even go classic with your pastas, brown rice pastas. You can also hit on things like lentil pastas, chickpea pastas. Those contain a ton of protein, because remember, beans are your friends. So beans have a lot of protein in them, and when you compact them down into something so tiny like a pasta, it just has more bang for the value. So once again, your whole grains, that includes your pastas, your rice, your couscous, your farros, all those things, protein packed. Use them as bases for something like tofu. So have a brown rice base. Think about it like a Chipotle bowl. You have your brown rice, you have your beans, and then you're gonna top with your tofu. That is literally so much protein, it's disgusting. So just think about layering your proteins if you don't wanna just eat a big old thing of rice, or you don't wanna just eat a big old thing of protein powder, which is actually better for your diet anyways. But regardless, we're getting into a whole nother subject here. All you need to know is your whole grains are also an excellent form of protein. Coffee break. Okay. Let's get into probably the most controversial thing that, I mean, it's not controversial. It's just the mere truth. Alternative meats are also a really excellent form of protein. Now, alternative meats do come with other things, so keep that in mind. Most of the things that I mentioned before pretty much have low sodium, other than the protein powders. Keep that in mind. You're going to want to look at the sodium levels if you care about those things. But the alternative meats typically are super high in sodium, which can counteract the benefits that it gives you. But this is a protein video, and I would be remiss if I did not mention the value of alternative meats. Like for instance, the Impossible meat that I saw has about 19 grams. And one of my favorite brands, Chi, I believe it's how you pronounce it, I find it at my local Sprouts, is amazing. It is low sodium and high in protein. I believe it's made out of nuts, which we're gonna get into that in the next level here. But yes, your alternative meats are also an excellent form of protein. So go ahead and just check the backs of those. Make sure that you're comfortable with the nutritional value of it and go forward if that's something you wanna do, especially if you're a new vegan or you're newly transitioning into a different type of diet, AKA a cut, a bulk, anything like that that is kind of different for you. Alternative meats might be a safe haven for you for a while until you get more comfortable with things like farro, wheat, all the things. So check out your alternative meats and let's go to the next one. As I mentioned in the previous section, this is actually constantly overlooked, which is really a shame. Nuts and seeds are an excellent form of vegan protein. I pretty much top almost everything that I eat with nuts, with seeds, with hemp seeds, with pumpkin seeds, because they're an excellent form of protein. You guys, you see this clip that I'm about to show you? Pumpkin seeds are an excellent form of protein. Hemp seeds as well. You can find this at most, more like nutrition stores, like your Sprouts, your Whole Foods, this and that. I would add hemp seeds to all of my smoothies. I even have a hemp seed ranch that I genuinely love. If you blend hemp seeds up with, let's say, soy milk, and you blend it together, it becomes a nice creamy consistency, much like a dip. Trust and believe. Do not sleep on hemp seeds. Do not sleep on your pumpkin seeds. Don't sleep on any kind of nuts out there. Your cashews, your almonds, your walnuts. These are all also really healthy forms of food and fat for you that's gonna help propel you. Each type of nut has something different in nutritional value that it can give you. So please, top your oatmeal with nuts, top everything with nuts. Eat your peanut butters. If you're worried about fat, to which I understand, some PB Fit that removes the fat, but it's also gonna remove some of that protein as well. But PB Fit is also a good choice if you're trying to be more conscious of your fat intake. But nuts and seeds are an excellent form of protein. And honorable mention, we're gonna give it to nutritional yeast, because nutritional yeast is what gives your pastas or your cheese-like things that cheesy flavor that you really know and love. But a lot of people don't know how much protein is in nutritional yeast. So that is a good call out to anyone who is curious. And I think without further ado, that's it. I'm gonna try my hardest to link down recipes that I've used in the past that's gonna help you reach those protein goals. Leave any comments below of anything that you think of that I just forgot to mention. And I love you all so much. I will see you guys in the next video. That's it, bye.